ask and stuff.
What sort of thing are you going to ask us? I don't know. Well, first off, we're talking about rugby. About you and I have been great fans of rugby. But no, come on, let's be serious. We're here at the. Look at that. Have you seen your halo? You're going to have that all the way through.
Enjoy the halo. Yeah.
Well, you need that halo because the award that you won. Come on, don't be modest. What award did you win today?
I won the Doug Henderson Award.
Okay, why?
I was fortunate enough to get nominated by my secondment managers for good performance during my time on MDS.
Okay, and we had a couple of clips of your secondment managers just extolling your virtues, and I've said this to a couple of other people that we talked to today. You're great, and you're lovely because you're not egotistical. You haven't got great aspirations to take over. But there's something very, very special with the likes of you and your colleagues who on today and all the other MDS trainees. Where are you going? What's the future? Where you had this amazing base of foundation. What's next? Tell us.
That's a great question. I'm in a very fortunate position where I've got a few options on the cards. I'm probably commercial and supply chain is what I'm driven towards, but I also grew up on a family farm, so long term, I'd love to probably go back.
And that would be brilliant because everything that you've learned, you'll take to the farm?
Yeah, I can bring back, but my parents are still going with the farm. My dad absolutely loves it. He's absolutely,
stay away, son. Yeah.
He's absolutely relentless. He's just such a hard worker, but that's the long term, and then short term commercial or supply chain role. Like I said, I'm in a fortunate position. I've got a few opportunities.
And with the farm, just let's go explore that avenue. If you took the farm on with your parents' bequest, would you look to use that as a foundation to do something with? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of potential there. I do things probably very different to the way they do things at the moment, I'd love to drive that and trying to do something within the industry. I think, not that my parents don't. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job.
Dad, you're safe.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'd love to drive something within the industry. I don't know what yet, but I love. There's lots of the innovation that I'm seeing at the moment. It's a very exciting time, although it's a very tough time in produce. I think there's a lot to come, and there's a lot we're going to have to change going forward. I did my dissertation at university was on water, and that was based in Australia, so I'm quite interested in water supply as well. And I know in the UK we've got theoretically a good supply, but we've got a north-south divide. Some people really struggle with it, so I think water is going to become increasingly prevalent, and how you can make sure that the area you've got is you're putting the right things into the ground that water actually works with. And then every year is different at the moment. So it's going to be interesting going forward how we manage all of these sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a conversation for another time. In respect of there's a certain cohort of potato farmers in North Norfolk who wants a big reservoir to be stuck down in Lincolnshire, so water can be pumped to North Lincolnshire. But there's climate change. Perhaps we just don't grow potatoes. But in North Lincolnshire,
but then you've got those people's livelihoods.
I know. So hold on, coming back to yourself, one thing that I've picked up today is what's so refreshing about MDS trainees, experts, is that you all look at things differently in a positive manner when you go into businesses. And you're sort of positive disruptors, and you're creating this positive change within these businesses. For the businesses that you've been associated with, the sector as a whole, do you see anything that's fundamentally broken that we need to change on the subject of today being sustainability? Is there are there elements within the sector that you think that this isn't right and we've got to change it?
I think one of the big sticking points at the moment is because we've got this cost of living crisis, retailers are trying to keep the price of stuff down, but then growers are asking for more, so there's a constant friction by no fault of anyone's, but I think that's going to become harder and harder because some people aren't able to meet some of the prices, etc. And then I know some businesses are going out of business, I think that's a really tough point. And how can we make sure that the supply chain is as efficient as possible so that the person at the end is getting the best value for money, and right the way throughout everyone's making their business work, but we're providing a good offering and we're supporting everyone in that chain, because for longevity, long term, we need to probably be making sure that we support all of these businesses, otherwise they're not going to be there.
Well, look at dairy industry. We've lost 5% of the UK national dairy herd since Christmas on that basis. So what are you intimating, that you think there's a lot of profitability held up within the supply chain, and we've just got to be more blinking efficient?
I think there's some elements to it. I think it depends on what case by case basis. I think I'm currently part of a bit of a direct model I'm currently in DPS, and the direct model I think is a good way of looking at it. But that works differently for different retailers, different people. So it's not a one prescription does everything. I think it's such a tough issue.
Yeah, I'm sort of asking you for the answer, but there isn't an answer.
No,
but you're
one.
highlighting, you're worried.
Well, an element. I think we need to collaborate together.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing. It's working together for a solution.
Yeah.
Because the more people are working against each other, the harder it is. It's tough as it is. It's a tough industry. So the more we can kind of work together to come up with a solution, especially at the moment, the better it's going to be. But it's very, very difficult. It's very complex.
Okay. But again, that's why we need people like yourself in to look at it everything with fresh ideas. So come on, let's wrap up. Just endorse MDS. Why should people come along to be a trainee like yourself, or why should they come in as a member? Why?
So it's a very unique opportunity. So I don't think there's any other grad schemes out there that offer you different experiences within different businesses. Whenever I talk about it to my friends, they're like, what on earth do you do? But it's brilliant because it means that you get a new culture, new team. Often no one knows who you are. You go into a new place, it's well out of your comfort zone, and you just have to get used to it. But that's how you grow, that's how you get better, that's how you expand your network. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's not for everyone because the moving is difficult. I've been all around the country, but I've enjoyed that. It has come with some significant challenges, but it's a great scheme to be on. And then for members, you get a fresh set of eyes coming in. But longer term, you could think, actually, this guy or this girl or whoever's come into our business has got a lot of potential, and maybe we want to recruit them for after. But maybe not. Yours it's like a try before you buy as well. Like and you can kind of tailor this comment to that individual as such. But I think it's a great opportunity for members and for individuals coming into it, and the industry needs young people in it. I was at the City and Food lecture earlier, it was in May, and it's great, but there were quite a lot of older faces there, and I think we need to make sure that we're getting young people in because that's ultimately long term we're going to need a bit of young growth in the industry.
And that's what you and MDS are going to provide. George, well done. You're fantastic. Well done.